Overwatch is quite easily one of my most beloved and endeared games I've ever played. To date, I have about 130 hours in game, and I'm still one of the worst players in the game, ranking at about the bottom 20%. My salty feelings about the matchmaking system aside, I would like to share the little details about this game that makes it so lovable. I'm Blinkehyo, and this is my look into the philosophy of Overwatch. So, I ask you, who are you as a person? A character? A human being? What are you fighting for and what's your story? Your ambitions and goals in life? Would you consider yourself a hero? Obviously, the portrayal of a hero is very plentiful, with many archetypes to explore. But would you fit into any of those categories? You see, a hero is so much more than a smile or the person wearing it. It's much more than saving lives or helping people. It's the embodiment of change. The person who does things that stand out, that stands for something. An ideological symbol that relates to another person's self. Today I present to you a philosophical view that Overwatch embodies heroism into its lovable characters. Okay. So let's start way back before the events of the game is happening. Back to where the pre-game events are being told, not through cutscenes, but trailers. I know. The game literally has no plot content at base value. It's like playing Call of Duty, but instead of army dudes, you're playing with random action figures you found in your toy chest. Alright, I get it. I'm not MatPat. And I also opened up a can of worms by saying there's no plot content in the game, because it's very cleverly hidden around the map and through character dialogue. Anyway, looking back at the game's trailers, we see a narrative of some characters. Although they don't exactly show why they're in-game, or what they're even doing there to begin with, it does show some of their motivations. Let's take a look at Overwatch's animated short, Dragons.
What have you become?
I have accepted what I am, and I have forgiven you. Now you must forgive yourself. The world is changing once again, Hanzo, and it's time to pick a side.
Here we see the inner struggle of Hanzo, as Genji presents the ongoing crisis of the world that is yet to come. Hanzo himself does not think of himself as a hero, but he does see himself as a protector of some way, while Genji has overcome his inner demons and wants to move forward, pushing to the forefront that the past is behind him and their current struggle that is a front. You see, what is not presented in the animation is that Genji was placed into a cyborg body. He absolutely disliked it, rejecting it and hated what he became. It was Zenyatta, someone who was fully synthetic and not human at all, that made him realize that his humanity was still within him. Despite his adversity, he overcame the problems that plagued his new existence, and even forgave his brother for killing him in the first place, despite Hanzo himself loathing the fact that he had to kill his brother.
I know you tell yourself that your brother disobeyed the clan, and that you have to kill him to maintain order. That it was your duty.
It was my duty, and my burden.
Hanzo has a completely different outlook on the matter, even going so far as to take blame for his brother's death, and blame for the fact that he had to kill him. For a man who believes honor is so important, his struggles plague him at every turn. This further paints Genji as someone who has laid down all of their issues before him, such as losing the clan that he belonged to, his brother, and even his body, essentially becoming an outcast to the world, and overcoming all of that, accepting who he is and rising up to change the world once again, as implied in the great threat that's coming. Genji here is displaying that he is a hero, attempting to be the savior to his brother that very clearly needs peace of mind. Going a bit farther in depth of the character traits that embody heroism, I really want to direct attention toward one of my favorite characters in Overwatch, one of whom who has no animated clip at all. However, his attitude speaks volume of his heroics. Lucio. Get it? Volumes. Lucio. Yes, sound and... Okay. Lucio currently has the most positive attitude in the game, rivaling that of Tracer. The reason why I say Lucio is more positive is basically because he has that charismatic charm that influences the game in many ways. He's always saying positive words of encouragement such as, "Let's bring it together," or "Don't give up, we can still win this." He has the special wording that basically tells his teammates to stick close, giving off vibes that are very peaceful yet encouraging to the teammates. This is incredible by design, as his abilities also have the same effect on his teammates. Lucio is someone that has great strength whenever his team is close by him, often giving off healing in arena effect style, much like the positive vibes that he gives off when he's around. He also can encourage the team by motivating them to work harder with his speed boost, also giving an arena of effect with speed as well. Of course, this is all controlled by his music, but I'd be remiss to not think of himself as the true source of these buffs for his team. As a support hero, he helps the team in these ways, both by being encouraging and by healing and boosting them in game. It's not just Lucio who embodies these traits into their gameplay either. The lovable tank Reinhardt embodies many other things into his playstyle as well. Reinhardt as a character is a joyous older gentleman who loves the glory of battle. Platted down with his trademark armor with his bright blue shield, he's the first one in the front line of combat, always ready to strike his foes down, charge in without a second thought, and crush his enemies to a pulp with that giant hammer of his. Reinhardt often likes to talk about the glory of battle with his fellow comrades, often encouraging them to partake in the fun as well, seeking battle as a chance to show his strength and vigilance, leading his team into the battle against a hellstorm of firepower, literally taking a giant hammer to a gunfight. Reinhardt practically is fearless of death. The majority of what he says is loud and boisterous, as if he wants to be heard by everyone. He has no shame or fear. He's simply there to fight with the glory of his teammates, protecting them and leading them to victory. To name a few more heroes that embody these character traits into their skill list, Mercy with their healing nature springs into battle to save her allies and rescues them. Symmetra sends order with their turrets controlling the enemy. Tracer is very springy and bubbly, basically bouncing around vertically across the field with her cartoony humor. Widowmaker is very cold and distant, yet precise and cunning, often not letting her get distracted by her goals. Diva, well, she loves video games. And war is the game to her. I'm sure there are more synonymous analogies here with the characters in their in-game playstyles, if not all the characters in the game being like that. But I'd rather take note of the divergence in the characters in the game. Specifically, the good guys and the bad guys. As you probably already know, Overwatch is meant to be the good guys, the organization that is meant to protect the innocent and bring peace to the world, whereas Blackwatch is the organization within Overwatch, which did morally questionable things within Overwatch. Can we still call them heroic if they were basically the face of the covert ops in Overwatch? They were speculated to be wrong in a way, so wrong that they needed to be covered up. Would that make Reaper, the person responsible for these operations under Blackwatch, a villain as well? How about the Shimada clan, a clan of assassins that ruled the underground for centuries? Wouldn't that make Genji and Hanzo cold-blooded killers at one point? Who's to say Hanzo still isn't? Perhaps the members of Talon, an underground organization with an unknown agenda that very clearly seems to have a negative effect on the world, are villains here too. Both Widowmaker and Sombra have done some bad things. The same goes for the Bastion units, which Bastion takes a part of, killing thousands of humans in the Omnic Crisis. How can we call these characters heroes after belonging in such a negative assembly? While I don't have an answer for most, what I do know is that they're all fighting for change. The motivation for what Reaper really wants is unclear, but Blackwatch's goal was to make the world a better place by darker means. And despite Reaper possibly taking down Overwatch itself, there's a chance that it was for the greater good. The Shimada clan was a very ruthless clan, but both Hanzo and Genji have left it, despite being heads of the clan. Genji has found inner peace, and Hanzo seeks redemption for what he's done. Widowmaker might seek redemption for what she's done as well, portraying remorse for killing Gerald, her ex-husband. Though she does feel pride for her kills, who's to say there isn't a personal reason behind it? Her finest kill was of an Omnic, of one she probably holds no mercy of killing simply because they're not living organisms. As a matter of fact, there's a number of members in the Overwatch crew that simply don't like Omnics either. They, as characters, it just makes you wonder. Who are they? What is the rest of their story going to be? What are they going to accomplish? Can we really call them heroes? To me, I'm sure you can find yourself in one of these characters. I have so many of them. Are you cold and distant, yet seeking redemption like Hanzo? Are you the bubbly, cheery one that's trying to stay positive like Tracer? Perhaps you're the one who's trying to overcome inner struggles and find peace like Kenshi. Or better yet, you want to teach peace and understanding like Zenyatta. These characters may have questionable motives, but they are currently heroes. Divided amongst each other in one way or another, they are fighting for something, either as a team or against each other. What are they fighting for, and more importantly, who will win? I don't know. That's the hero's story for you, though. I could argue that the same question could be asked to you. Thanks so much for watching.
If for some odd reason you actually like this nerdy video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you actually want to see videos just as nerdy as this one, hit that subscribe button. Or leave a comment below saying what you actually do want to see from him. And altogether, thanks for watching. Blink ahoy!